Hello everyone, hello my dear fiber friends. It's Doris here, otherwise known as Knittynina. Welcome to episode 23 of the Knittynina Diaries. I'm even surprised at myself. I'm back here so quickly. It's been 2 weeks since I last recorded, but I'm here back to show you some exciting progress on a new cast on that I couldn't wait to show you. But before we dive in, how are you? Very happy to be back here with all of you. If you are a new viewer here, a very warm welcome. This is a podcast show that focuses on my passion for the fiber arts. And today we're going to talk a lot about knitting. And if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. Very warm welcome. Very excited. We got a couple of more subscribers in this last episode that I filmed. So music to my heart. So thank you to all of those who subscribed. Just really exciting to see my little growing community here, growing day by day. And I've got to say, I loved your comments. I responded to each one of them. I was asking you out there a couple of questions in terms of, hey, what was on your needles, what you're doing, what you're up to. I gotta give a shout out to a couple of the comments I read. Sue McVoy, hey, thank you so much for joining the channel. I love it. She is casting on the air tee with cotton yarn for herself. So I love it. Go check that pattern out. It is just beautiful and perfect for the spring and summer. So she's already forecasting great projects there. So thank you so much, Sue, for joining the channel. And Lynn Thomas, hello. It's so always dear to see your messages. She's doing fantastic. She's working on the Haley slip over. Which is apparently a make-along for the East Anglian Yarn Festival in the UK. So, and she's going to be attending that in March. So, I didn't even know about that yarn festival. Got to check that out. But the Haley slipover is absolutely gorgeous. So, another great pattern to check out. So, I wanted to highlight those couple. Oh, and I also have to mention, forgive me, my dear friend Sheila. She and her husband Tom are such amazing supporters of the channel. Her husband as well takes the time to watch every episode and leave me a comment. And as you all know, Sheila took up knitting and is just doing an amazing job. She is, I think, less than a year knitting, and she's already doing pullovers. She's in the midst of doing a pullover that I can't wait to see. And she's very, very brilliant, not only in knitting, but she is a jewelry designer and so many other crafts. But again, she left a comment. So very happy. Gabby, besitos. So nice to see your messages. And Walter, thank you. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of highlight those folks out there. So thank you. So let's dive in. What am I wearing? I am wearing my Magnolia pullover. I'll link the episode below when I did this sweater, but this is a sweater by Camila Vad, and I did it on Cascade 220. I did it this last year, and I love it. It's just, it fits so nicely. It's so cozy. The yarn has really held up. It's just a beautiful, beautiful sweater. And you know what? I'm kind of thinking I want to do another one in a different color. Or there is, I believe, a Magnolia cardigan. I'm pretty sure. Let me see. There's the, oh my gosh, there's so many stuff with Magnolia. There's the Magnolia Bloom, which is this one. And then there's the Magnolia, which is like a T. And then the bottom part focuses on this pattern. So beautiful. And then there's the Magnolia Bloom cardigan, which I can't wait to do. That's the one I wanted to get on my needles. There's the Magnolia Chunky cardigan, so you can do a cardigan with a higher US needle, and certainly the Magnolia Bloom Light, which I didn't even know that was out there, which is perfect for the spring and summer. So can't wait to to think of that pattern again. Oh, they even have it for a junior size. Go figure. They have a Magnolia Bloom Junior, a Magnolia Mini, just so many variations. So a great pattern, and the baubles, I just think they're gorgeous. I think they're gorgeous. So I'll link that episode down below if you want to take a look at it, where I speak and I dive a little deeper into the construction of this. So let's dive in. I want to show you the finished socks that I have done, and they are finally finished. Let me show you this. Hold on. Where is my other pair of socks? There it is. Okay, they're done. Yay! So here is the final pair of socks. This is, I showed these in the last episode. I think I knit these from the cuff down to the toe, and I think I was around here when I showed them in the last episode. And this was knit with a yarn called White Gum Wall. It's kind of a super fine merino from the Tasmanian's Midlands, and it is just a gorgeous yarn. And I talk again about this in my last episode. It has ball has 236 meters, and I knitted these on a 4.0 double pointed needles, and the color that I used, the main color, was Wildflower. But it just, I think they turned out so nice, and I haven't worn them yet, so I did talk about the fact that they don't have nylon, so I don't know if it's gonna pale too quickly, but we'll see. But it is scrumptiously soft. And what I did want to show you is the heel. So instead of doing my traditional heel flap and gusset, I did the Eye of the Partridge stitch heel, which is a four-row pattern, a repeat pattern, forgive me. And it gives you this beautiful kind of like diamond dimpled effect, which is so pretty. And obviously done in a larger needle, it just kind of really focuses on that beautiful diamond dimple, if you will. And again, that is the Eye of the Partridge stitch for the heel. And a very easy construction. Again, it's a 4-row repeat for the heel. I'll tell you a couple of more things that I did on this. I cast it on 45 stitches, again from the cuff down, and let's see, and I did approximately 33 rows after the heel. After this, 33 rows to do the toe, and I did from here to here, that was 65 rows, which is around, from the heel to the cuff here, I think we're looking around 8 inches. So I like the socks pretty long, so they can kind of do that little scrunching effect, which I find very cozy and lovely. But the yarn is gorgeous. The colors are just, for me, happiness. There are some specks here, you can see it here, of these little pops of pink. Where are they? Yeah, right around there, which just are so lovely. Like these pink with the chartreuse and the green and the spring green and the powder blue. It's just beautiful. And again, the contrasting color cuff and the heel and the toe. And I didn't forget. I always forget to change the color in the toe. So I'm glad I didn't this time around. So these are done. Hooray. Happy for that. Then I wanted to kind of cast on a new sweater, a new pullover. And I have had this in my queue for a while. It is a Midori Hirose pattern, and it is called the Snow Crocus. And I've been wanting to knit this for some time. And because I've seen this colorway that was very kind of in, if you will, during this winter, and I'm sure it'll continue for spring because it's perfect for spring. I wanted to knit it in a color that was like this lavender, light purple colorway that I'm sure all you folks have seen around. So before I show you how far I am, let me show you the choice of the yarn I decided to knit this with. And I am loving this. And it took me a while to find the perfect yarn with, I'm doubling it with a kid silk mohair color that exactly kind of matched the yarn. So I kind of went down a rabbit hole on the internet and was looking at colorways. But you know, when you buy online, it's really hard to see that colorway, right? Is it an actual true representation of that hue? But I think this really kind of did it for me. So let's talk about the yarn that I chose. The main color, obviously it's the main color for the whole sweater, but the main yarn is Sandnes Garn Pure Gynt. It is one of their types of yarn they carry, Sandnes Garn. It is a DK approximately weight. Each ball or yarn or skein here is around 90 meters, approximately 98 yards. A gauge of 22 stitches gives you 4 inches. And they recommend a US 4 to 5 needle or a 3.5, 3.75 millimeter when using it. But we'll talk about what needle size I ended up using for this pattern. But it's a beautiful, like you can see, like a gorgeous lavender, pale, kind of pale lavender. And then the yarn that I'm choosing to knit 2 strands with this is Lang Lace Mohair Super Kid Silk, and I'm going to show that to you right here. And I just think that colorway is spot on. Spot on. And I'm going to see if I can find any more information about this yarn. That was another little treasure that I found in the internet. Let me see here. Lang Lace. And I'll tell you more about it. It is an amazing yarn. From Lang Yarns. And again, it's a Lace Mohair Super Kid Silk. And its meterage is quite a lot. So don't let this little small ball make you think that it doesn't have a lot. Once you open it, this kind of like expands and blows up. This has 339 yards or 310 meters. It gives you a gauge of 26 stitches for 4 inches. A needle size 2.5 to 4 or 3, but you know, oh, and the fibers are 58% goat mohair and 42% silk. Super plied, extremely fluffy. They have an amazing range of colors. But again, I mean, come on, to match these two, I think it is the perfect match in heaven. So I'm holding these two together to knit the pattern. So I'm going to pop again a picture of the snow crocus here, and let's talk about some of the couple of tips that you might want to do if you consider knitting this. But let me show you first where I am at. So here we are. Oh, I got stuck here. Oh, you have to check these out. I mean, I'm already thinking spring. Can you tell? I'm already thinking spring with these little stitch stoppers. So this is the front, and it's knit from the top down, and this is the back where I'm at so far. And let's take a look at that. Oh my gosh, I don't know about you, but I am loving this. It is so gorgeous. I have not been this excited of knitting a pattern. And again, the last pullover, the long last pullover that I showed in last episode, it was beautiful, but it was that repetitive fisherman rib that after a while I said, I need some excitement, right? I need a challenge. I need some variation. And this gives it to you, because you have just these cables, all these different types of textures happening. Cables on the side, you have some short rows. Just amazing. So you start it from the top down with 1 by 1, as you can see, and then it kind of makes you knit up to here, and then you start some short rows on the back, and then you continue all the back. I'm still working on the back, and then you will move to the front, and then it looks like you'll be picking up the sleeves here, so far of what I've read. But let's talk about the pattern. The pattern, it is unbelievably articulate. It is so well written that, you know, that's why when people have spoken about this pattern in the past and they're like, oh my gosh, it has like 65, 70 pages of a pattern. I think it has 65. But it's not all 65 pages for each size, right? It encompasses such an amazing range of sizes that, you know, you can't go wrong. I'm trying to look for here. Give me 1 second as I bring this up, because it gives you from 2x small to a 6x extra large, 6XL X, it says here. So 2X, an extra small, a small, M1, M2, L, extra large, 2XL, 3XL, 4XL, 5XL, 6XL. So 12 sizes. I mean, come on, that is such a great range for any body type. So, I mean, hence the amount of notes and instructions take up that many pages. And she not only gives you chart instructions, but she also gives you written instructions. So again, great pattern writing. So what I did is, first I did a swatch, right? Obviously in this case I am definitely swatching because it's a sweater. And here is my swatch. Oh, I'm leaning on something here, forgive me. Here is my swatch, and it turned out very, very nice. I went down a needle size. This was on a US 10. I mean, the colors, and the yarn has really washed well. It's soft. I think it gives it that really nice fuzziness. As you can see. The yardage it's looking at for minimum is 766 yards needed, up to 1,542 yards for the largest size. So a nice amount of yarn there, and reasonable based on such an amazing variety of sizes. A couple of tips that I want to offer if you're thinking to knit this pattern. I had seen out there that, you know, the pattern actually has like around 65 pages or so, give or take. And it's not that lengthy, right? Because two things, not all of the pages are for each of your sizes, number one. And number two, what I would recommend is when you download the pattern, what I did is I looked for my respective size that I wanted to make for myself, and then I read through all the pattern in terms of identifying the pages that were respective to my size, right? I did kind of a little cheat sheet on that. And then I printed those pages versus printing the whole thing. So that definitely brought me down to a smaller amount and more manageable amount of pages. That's one thing. Number two, if you even do that, keep in mind that the pages that you're printing out for your respective size also will include chart and written instructions. So that's a really nice choice to have, right? You can either read the pattern through the graphs or just read the written instructions. So that is also a great flexibility. And she's very, very detailed. I mean, if you just literally take each of those components and read them and follow her instructions to the T, everything makes complete sense. So it's not as overwhelming as you might think at first. So I just want to give you a heads up on that. Number two, another thing that I did is that when I started knitting this, a couple of things I would recommend. Number one is get yourself a lot of stitch markers. And not just stitch markers, and I'll tell you why in a moment. Because I started this, as I said, it starts from the neck, and then you're going down here, and this is the front. See, I made to put a little stitch marker to indicate the front when I got here, and then I started doing short rows. So while I was doing those short rows, I was fine. I mean, I think I went up to here before I did the short rows. And all of these sections are actually marked with your stitch markers, each of these sections, so you know exactly what you're doing. And then I did the short rows, and then she's doing German short rows, which I personally love. And she even tells you when you get to that German short row and what to do with it. You know, sometimes it just tells you identify the German short row when you come to it, and then knit it together, right? Some patterns just say that. Well, here, because you have those sections well defined, when you get to that section, she will make that call out right there. She's like, okay, that next stitch that you're seeing, that's your German short row that you're gonna knit together or purl two together, which I really, really love, because sometimes you kind of lose track of where those short rows are. So that's wonderful. But then what I decided to do is I was reading the pattern, it was giving me letters. So she kind of makes these sections into letter sections, and each section, she gives it a letter, and which led me to believe, you know what, I might have to get some stitch markers with letters. So I used to have a set for the life of me. You know how it is. Stitch markers, they can end up in your car, in the back of the sofa, inside a shoe. I'm kidding. But you never know where your stitch markers end up, because that's why I have so many. But I had these letter ones, and I couldn't find them. So I went on Amazon and ordered, and they obviously, I had Prime, so they arrived the next day. And I am telling you, these, just getting lettered stitch markers and putting them in this pattern where she says, has made an amazing difference. I mean, I'm flying through this process. Now let me show you the stitches I got. Aren't they cute? They are so adorable. They're called stitch markers and beads. I will pop a link to these down below in the description box. And the nice thing is they put them on this ring, and it's already, I mean, they're all organized alphabetically, right? It's not like you have to go look for the A and the B, because I've seen that sometimes. You buy these stitch markers, letters in a bag, and then you have to like sort through them and find where's the C, where's the D, whatever. These are all arranged alphabetically, which is perfect. And in this case, I'm using A through O. And then once I did that, so when I arrived to each of the other stitch markers I had, I just moved it and then put the corresponding letter. Again, huge, huge difference. And you can see them right here. Actually, you'll see them here better, because this is the back. And then I put this one here as my beginning of the round. And you can see, and I'll pop in some pictures. But once I'm reading the directions, I know exactly what to do when I get there. And it allows for you to knit this pattern while watching TV, because you're so in tune. exactly what you need to do and when you need to do it. So big, huge recommendation is get yourself some letter stitch markers, and they're very affordable if you want to knit this pattern. And then now that I'm going back to do the front, I think I'm ready to start the front again. You see my original stitch markers I had here? That's what I did from here to here before I moved to the back and said, oh, I've got to get these letter markers. So now I just put the respective letter in the front. So when I go back to the front and start knitting these, I'll pull the older stitch markers that I had earlier, because they're not going to make much sense to me now that I'm reading it with these letters. Hopefully that makes sense. The other tip I have for you for this pattern is, if you can, learn how to knit cables without a needle. Makes a huge difference. Obviously not only for this project, but for cabling. Great way to really kind of speed through. I started this, let's see, today is Friday. I started this on Sunday. And for me personally, and I have a daytime job, I can't get over that in the evenings, in, gosh, less than 1 week, I've been able to accomplish this. So, at least for me. So I think that it's been a combination of really just being really organized and understanding what you're doing. You printed it out, the stitch markers, cabling without a needle, amazing. And there was one other thing that I wanted to add. Oh, yes. So then I have my laptop next to me, and I open her page of this pattern on Ravelry. And on Ravelry, where it says Snow Crocus, if you go down below, I think I had it open here. If you go down below, where she speaks about, where she writes about, here it is, you know, all the sizes and so forth, she'll show you all the links to all the pattern sections, right? Everything she's asking you to do is linked there directly. So it'll take you directly into YouTube. So instead of me going back and forth in the pattern and saying, okay, what does this mean? Because she has those instructions written in the beginning of the pattern, like how to make a M1R or an M1LP, or, I mean, she gets more complex than some other ones. Instead of reading those, what I did is I left my laptop right in front of me, and as soon as I saw that I needed to do that term, I would click on, go to my laptop, click on that link, and it would take me immediately to YouTube, and I would look at that. So again, I wasn't turning pages. I was just going, okay, I see it, I click on the link. See it, click on the link. So that would be another recommendation to make the ease of reading the instructions, is just having those links right in front of you, either in your laptop or in your iPad or in your phone, whatever you have that connects to the internet. Use that right there in front of you, so you won't have to be flipping back and forth, and just go straight smoothly. So that's that. Those would be the tips that I have so far. But again, I'm really loving it. I think the light here is giving you a nice representation of the lavender color. But very excited to continue to work through this. Definitely is going to be something for the weekend. We're getting a lot of rain out here. So it'll be a nice, cozy, knitting, rainy weekend with a cup of tea, and enjoying hopefully some Netflix, otherwise known as Knitflix. Anyway, so that's all I have for you guys here today. I wanted to just pop in, do a short episode, and bring you up to speed on the excitement I have for this Snow Crocus, and kind of give you an inspiration, maybe something that you might want to knit as well. And last but not least, I hope that you have all a wonderful weekend, that you have something exciting on the needles that you can snuggle up to and make. And it'll be raining here outside my neck of the woods, so it'll be a cozy weekend to knit and drink tea and continue my progress with this pullover. Until next time, folks, great seeing you here again. Have a wonderful weekend and happy making. Talk to you soon. Ciao, ciao. Mwah.